Hi guys, I'm Lizzie Peirce. Thank you all for clicking on this video. So first, a little bit about me. I am, as of right now, a content creator on YouTube. I shoot photo and video, I make films, but I do have a background in corporate video production. So I actually co-run a video production company with my husband, other YouTuber, Chris Howe, and we specialize in not just corporate video, but travel video. We do marketing. We're a full-fledged agency, okay? So if you want to see some of my work, it'll be linked in the description box below, but that is me. Now let's move on to talking about my favorite lenses. First, we're gonna talk about the 35mm f1.4 G Master. This is one of my latest additions to my lens arsenal, and here's why I love it. It's extremely lightweight, it has a wide aperture, it has some of Sony's latest glass technology, and 35mm is a pretty common wide focal length to shoot with for video. I reach for this lens the most because it has a really natural look to it, and I can shoot a wide variety of shots with it. And that's because 35mm is just wide enough to show the background, give some context to where your subject is, but it's still close enough to give you a really intimate feel. The aperture is 1.4, and what that allows me is really just some flexibility in low light situations, and a beautiful side effect of that is that I get really nice depth with my images as well. I travel a lot, okay? And although I've been doing this for a very long time, carrying around tons of gear still hasn't gotten any easier for me. So a beautiful side effect of this lens is that it is small, it is compact, and it is lightweight. And that is what I would say is my favorite part about how this fits into my creative process as a photographer and filmmaker. So it's easy for me to just throw it on my A7C, which is a very small camera body, and I can take this around for the day, just capturing a wide variety of B-roll. So the convenience factor of this lens is huge for me. Now let's talk about the 100 to 400 f4.5 to 5.6 G Master. This is the best part about this lens, is literally just the comedic element of this. This is a telephoto lens with a variable aperture, and probably my favorite part about this lens is exactly that. It is the focal length. The aperture is pretty good at 4.5, 5.6, and honestly that's exactly what you need with this because you're getting a lot of compression with the focal length itself. The lens is super sharp and the autofocus is really fast as well. If you know me, you know I love this lens for photo, but I also love it for video, and my reason is the same. There is something special about being able to take yourself and your viewer of your video with you to just such a tiny detail in your scene, and that could be a wildlife, animal, and nature. It could be a mountaintop, it could be a treetop, and honestly I credit this lens for a lot of what I consider my style to be for that reason. I literally never travel without the lens, and that's because the ability to capture certain details or a moment way off in the distance is what levels up your video and takes it from just shooting whatever where you stand and actually ends up making it a piece of art. Now let's move on to the 16 to 35 f2.8 G Master. It is a wide lens, it is a G Master staple. It is one of the first lenses I actually added to my kit along with the 24 to 70 f2.8 G Master, which we will talk about in a moment. And that's because it's the versatility again for me. It's great for vlogging, it's great for establishing shots, it's great for landscapes, it's great for reveals. I'm always throwing this on a gimbal so you get that natural look of a 35 with the wide, occasionally depending on how close or far away you are to your subject, a little bit of distortion with the 16, but not bad distortion. It depends if you're going for that more creative look, or maybe you're just trying to, again, capture that landscape, or you're doing a walkthrough of a home for real estate. So there's a huge variety of what you can actually shoot with this lens, and having a lower f-stop also benefits you in low light settings. I mean, 2.8 for video is really all you need. I mean, it is a little bit on the pricier side in terms of the Sony lineup, but it is worth every single penny. All right. The 24 to 70 f2.8 G Master. As I mentioned a little earlier, I hate carrying lots of gear, and especially for the day, sometimes I really do only bring out one lens, and that would be either the 16 to 35 f2.8 G Master or the 24 to 70 f2.8 G Master. Again, 2.8, really all you need for video. Low enough, you're gonna be okay in low light. And do you really need f1.4 when you're shooting video? Most likely, no, unless you wanna get the tip of someone's nose, okay? We'll save that for another video. That's a rant for another day. All right, so what 24mm gets you is it's wide. It's not as wide as the 16mm, but you're getting a little less distortion with this. Have I vlogged with this? Yes. It is a little heavier. It's a little longer. It's a little more awkward to hold. It is possible, okay? So if you have this on your lens and you need to turn it around really quick to vlog, you absolutely can. It's a little hard to make sure that you're framed properly and you could end up a little tight to your face, but I'm just saying it's not completely impossible. So whenever my shooting scenario is dynamic, this is a great lens to have on all day long because I can get a little bit of wide coverage, I can get a little bit of close-up B-roll, 70mm. I mean, it's kind of almost 85. What else can be said? So when I am out in the fields and I am run and gun shooting, that's when I like to pick up something like this, leave it on my camera all day because it's really difficult to be switching between prime lenses all day. In fact, it is the lens we're using right now. See? Wow. Next. The 85mm f1.4 G Master lens. So this is a telephoto prime, and although those words may sound contradictory to you, I assure you that that is what this is. So a lot of people look at this lens and they think, what a great portrait lens, but translated into video, this is a great close-up lens, okay? When you don't have a 90mm macro handy, this is your next best thing, and it's way more versatile than that 90mm macro. So anytime I'm trying to really separate my subject from the background, get some really deep depth, get some really creamy bokeh, that's when I want this guy. When I want to get quite close up to something, a tiny detail that is close up to me, not the kind of detail I'm talking about when I'm looking at mountaintops and treetops, that's the 100 to 400 f4.5 to 5.6 G Master. That is when I am reaching for this guy. That's cool when you look inside of it, eh? The other thing about this lens is it has a very distinct look. So when you see any video shot with it, you know immediately this is the 85mm f1.4 G Master. Thank you, Sony, for having me today. I'll be here with my children. And if you guys like this video, please like it. If there's a lens that is your favorite that I didn't talk about, leave it in the comment section below. Thanks. Bye.